on, guys? Welcome back to TheBuffNerd. Thanks for tuning in to the second video, which is part 2 of the previous video. That video ran kind of long, so I wanted to do another video in order to talk about some things in reference to the CCNP wireless design certification that I just got. As I told you guys before in the previous video, the certification kicked my butt, man. It kicked my butt. We had 3 long heavyweight bouts, and the first 2 rounds I got my behind whooped. The first time is because, I was a little unprepared. I wasn't ready for it. The second time, I thought I was prepared. I knew everything that I needed to know. I went over just about every topic thoroughly. As far as knowing what things are, I knew all that. But for whatever reason, I just couldn't pass it, man. I failed again. I improved in the areas that I failed in the first time I took the exam, but all the other areas were still at a standstill for some reason. And I was just trying to figure out, like, what is it, man? How come I'm not passing this cert? And so one thing I came to the conclusion was that, man, Cisco is very interesting. And I've been puzzled on this for a bit now, and not even puzzled, but I've been sitting here thinking about it for a bit, and I was just wondering, like, man, like, this certification track change that they did, like, was this good? Like, it seems like this is a pain in the more than it is anything. And I got to the point where I was like, yo, man, I think that these certifications are just cash grabs, because, like, it doesn't make any sense. Why is it so difficult to pass these certifications? What's up with this lining of questioning that they have in the certification? I was really upset. The second time after failing, I was actually really pissed off, because I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I know what everything is. If you ask me a question, I can tell you what it is. But why am I not sticking the landing when it comes to the certification? And I had to ask myself, like, some of those real questions, man. Like, just, is this a cash grab? Is this not worth it? Am I just wasting my time? And everything else. But I mean, eventually I got over those feelings, and I went back into it and I passed it. But the question is this: is the new Cisco certification tracks cash grabs? And my answer is yes and no. At least for the wireless design certification, I'll say yes and no, because I had a lot of trouble with the certification. But here's the reason why I say yes and no. So first thing I thought was, yes, this is a cash grab. They want you to fail. They want you to spend the money so you can pass. And here's why I thought that. Because when I had taken the test the first time, all I did was read the official cert guide. Now, this is a certification guide. All of the information that I need in order to pass should have been in this book. But it wasn't. It just really wasn't. Like, I read the entire book thoroughly, and I did alright, but I didn't do good enough to pass. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that sucks. Maybe I need to dive a little bit deeper on this. Maybe I need to reread the book again. The official cert guides usually have practice. Some of them, the premium editions, usually have practice tests in the back of them. And what you can do is you can, use the code to take practice tests on the Pearson VUE website, which is the site that hosts the test. And that's supposed to kind of get you on the same page, as the exam. Now, I took that exam and I blew that exam out the water. I was scoring in the 90s. I was doing good. But one thing I noticed, I was like, man, this doesn't feel like the certification. This feels like, a technical interview. Don't you remember how I told you about those technical interviews you have when the person doesn't know what wireless is, but they're just reading from a sheet to see if you know what you're talking about? It felt like that. I was like, okay, I know exactly what this is. I know exactly what this is. This is easy. This is easy. This is easy. And I was scoring in the 90s on that practice test. I even got on Udemy and found a gentleman that had created his own practice test. And I had taken those tests and I was scoring high. Now, on Udemy, his tests were a little bit closer to something I would expect for the certification. But I took 3 sets of tests. The Pearson VUE test, I think they had, that's like 4, because they had like 2 or 3 tests. No, it was 2 for Pearson VUE, and it was 2 for the Udemy practice test. So I took those. I reread the book on topics that I was confused on. I took the entire CBT Nuggets course, and that course was good, man. They taught me a lot of good stuff, and they kept my attention, and it was good. But I did all of that, and I failed it again. And I was just like, yo, what is going on, man? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so at that point, I was at a standstill because there was no practice test. You know, all the practice tests that I had that came from the official cert guide weren't close to the cert. You know, I just didn't have a good time, and I was at a loss for words because I just didn't understand. And so I was like, man, what is it? And so after I got those resources that I mentioned in the previous videos, going to the Cisco website to read the white pages and doing that Cisco course that cost like $600, I was like, okay, after doing those, I'm like, okay, now all the dots are starting to click. There were valuable considerations that I wasn't aware of when it came to everything that I knew that I wasn't considering when I was taking certification. And after applying those, I was able to pass the certification. Now, the reason why I think it's a cash grab is because, well, the wireless track specifically, I think that was a cash grab because, one, with the official cert guide, they don't give you enough information to pass, so you're guaranteed to fail at once if you think that the official cert guide is all you need. Two, the information that I could have used to pass cost $600 from the Cisco digital learning website. And so it's just like, okay, well, I'll pay for the book. You know, like, how come the book and this site don't match up, considering that this is the official cert guide? There should be some continuity between the book and this digital learning course, but there wasn't. You know, the digital learning course talked about case studies, it talked about valuable considerations, the book didn't. And so I'm just like, okay, well, obviously I had to pay for the book, fail, and didn't pay for, you know, the digital, the Cisco digital learning course in order to pass. And then on top of that, like, even with the CBT Nuggets course, you know, like, the CBT Nuggets course had practice tests. Like, at the end of the entire course, they had two practice tests for both domains. And I took those, passed those, still not enough for that second time I took the certification. And so at that point, I was just like, yo, this is bull, and I don't like it. You know, I'm really upset. But what changed my mind, because like I said, you know, I said yes and no, it is and it isn't a cash grab. What changed my mind is after taking the test and seeing in the test, like, how they really want you to know this information. Like, they don't want you to just be able to skim through the book, know what things are, and pass. They don't want you to, you know, be able to just do a quick read or look at a quick course and pass, or take some practice tests and pass. They want you to actually do this stuff. I mean, like, labbing it up, getting some virtual controllers in, like, environment like EVE-NG, and doing configuring intra controller roaming, configuring layer 2 and 3 inter controller roaming, configuring high availability, configuring stateful switchover, configuring primary, secondary, and tertiary controllers that the APs can fail over to, configuring AP fallback, so when the primary controller come back up, the AP falls back to it. What else? Jesus, configuring all kinds of stuff. Doing a wireless site survey, actually doing it, walking through a building and seeing all the things that you need to consider, seeing how a microwave severely affects the 2.4 gigahertz band. I can literally keep going. In the certification, like, that's how it felt. And so after rounding out and getting, like, connecting the dots and putting all the pieces together, I was able to pass. And it's smart. It's smart. I mean, I can understand how they say it's a cash grab, but it's smart. That's how you know those are the people that really did the work, the way that they asked those lines of questioning. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, some of those questions were very underhanded. You know, like, it was just like they would give you a lot of information that may have not even been necessary. They would say one word that would dictate the answer, and they would expect you to choose the best answer out of all of them. So it's just like vaguely specific, maybe questions, because when it comes to wireless design, it always depends. Everything always depends. It depends on the kind of environment you're gonna deploy wireless in. It depends on the needs of the customers or the clients. It depends on the kind of stuff they're gonna have in the areas. Like, it depends on if it's gonna be a warehouse environment. It depends on if it's gonna be an atrium, a stadium, conference room, a university class. There's so many variables when it comes to what an answer can be, that the questions felt like they were tricking you. Like, that's how they felt. It felt like they were just tricking you. They were trying to see, you know, if they could dupe you. But I appreciate it. Now I appreciate it, because although it was hard, although it was tough, it really let me know that I know my stuff, and it really let me know that I could accurately, or to the best of my ability, design a wireless network. I mean, at least through Cisco. It's crazy. I mean, it sucks. It sucks that you have to go through all, and that's the thing. I mean, I understand, them having a trial by fire approach, or them expecting you to go through the trenches. But I just wish that there was a clear cut, I wish they would give you exactly what you need in order to pass, versus you getting what you think you need, failing it, and then having to do all this other stuff and buy all this other stuff in order to pass. If you're gonna make an official cert guide that's supposed to be the official cert guide, put all the information that you could potentially need in that official cert guide. Charge a little bit more if you got to, but don't let me think that just buying a $30 book is enough to pass. But at the same time, that kind of perseverance makes sense. I mean, that's how you filter out the lazy people, the people that don't want to, get up and fight another round after losing. It's been something. This has been an interesting ride passing the certification. I won't lie to you. So all in all, do I think it's a cash grab? Ultimately, yes and no. I can't answer. I mean, I can't give a solid answer, because from certain positions it is, and as far as Cisco being a business, it's genius, and as far as me being a network professional, it makes sense, because I mean, this is how you filter through some of those paper tigers. But at the same time, it costs a lot. It's a lot of time and money that has to go into, driving into a brick wall and then having to fix your car and then driving a different direction and hitting another brick wall. That's how my last 3 months has been. Has any of you guys, same thing I said in the last video, have any of you guys taken any of these CCNP certifications and felt the same way? Have you guys had to fail a couple of times in order to figure out how to pass? If so, let me know. Also, I'm trying to figure out if I want to go for the CCIE. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that I wanted to rest immediately after taking the certification, but my hands are still kind of itching. I'm not gonna lie. My hands are kind of itching to press forward and keep going. If not go for the CCIE, then go for at least the wireless implementation, because that's literally like part 2 of this certification. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. But that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm gonna try to rest, because it's been a doozy. It's been rough, and Lord knows I'm tired. But continue to rock it out on your end. If you're going for a certification, man, don't stop till you get enough. It's about to be the new year. Go ahead and make a plan to get you a new certification, or to double down and focus in on whatever you already know, and become the best version of yourself, and become an inexpendable asset to whoever you are working for, or to get to the point to where you could work for yourself. Who knows? But take it easy, guys. Stay safe, stay powerful, buy a car, go fly to the moon, whatever you want to do, and just make sure you get the gains while you do it. Gains are important. You got to look good in the spaceship while flying to the moon, okay? You can't be a fat tub of garbage flying to the moon. Talk to y'all later.